oof, it's getting dark outside, and that means it's getting close to dinner time. And if you're an autism mom like me, I relate to the pain that you're feeling because your blood pressure is starting to get high because what is he going to eat? If your family's like mine, you mix one meal for yourself and maybe your husband, and something totally different for the autistic child. And it's because they won't eat anything. I remember when my son was 3, I was like, he's still sort of a baby, right? I can still sort of, hi, Deemy, feed him baby food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until people at Disneyland started being judgmental. Like, why are you feeding your toddler 3-year-old child baby food? But he just wasn't getting past the certain levels with the textures. He just wasn't moving on. Meat was a definite no. The only fruit he ate reliably was a banana if it was perfect. Like if it was one day too far and too many freckles, he just wouldn't eat it. And stupid things like, here, have a hot dog. All kids eat hot dogs would require 3 hours of a therapist and ABA and prompting and removing of any kind of rewards, or you're not going to be able to watch TV until you eat this, or you can't play with your friends until you eat this. And my doctor was like, you can't feed him baby food forever. And I was like, well, okay, let's try looking at the next level of food. And, you know, the little lunches they sell at school for kids. Oh. And we were like, you know, this, right? That doesn't count as baby food, right? It's a smoothie, right? It doesn't count. And my pediatrician was like, nope, that's still baby food. And, you know, even today, apples have to be perfect. They have to be peeled. They have to be sliced. You know, and it took a long time, hi, Deemy, for things to move on. And my sister-in-law, God love her, she has a channel. I'll try to include a link somewhere. But it's Nail Bling by Julia and Julia Haney. You can find it on the internet. And she discovered one of the times that she was watching Dimitri that she had made a meal where she put some chicken and some salsa and some water,
chips
in a slow cooker for like 8 hours, and it was really soft, and she put it over chips, and he ate like 3 bites, which is amazing if you have an autistic child to get them to eat anything and they don't throw up or gag or spit. And, you know, meal times were really stressful because of the throwing up and gagging and spitting and throwing of food and dropping on the floor. Whoops. Oh, I guess I can't eat it now. And so I tried what she did, and I took some meat and onions and garlic and tomatoes, and I added a few other vegetables. Hi, celery and carrots and bell peppers, and I didn't put it in a slow cooker, but I thought, oh my God, I have this amazing thing. You know, oh yeah, this is the most amazing thing on the planet, Vitamix. It's just brilliant. And when I got this thing, I was so excited because if you like, I don't know, fruit smoothies or margaritas or daiquiris, this thing makes it like velvet. It's just amazing and delicious. Unlike, you know, the other thing that, you know, when you make the food in there, you're kind of like, it looks like vomit. You know, like the stuff that Chunk threw on the unsuspecting moviegoers in Goonies, and they threw up on themselves and each other because they thought it was vomit. Well, this thing is my godsend. And while my pediatrician still says it's still pureed food, he can't do it forever, it was a step up. And if you talk to your ABA therapist, they'll tell you that you cannot, for example, remove behaviors. You have to find a replacement behavior. You also cannot just make them eat something. There has to be steps. And so what we did is we pureed food, and then we pureed it a little less and a little less. You know, if your kid doesn't want to eat meat, you know, maybe they'll be a vegetarian, but they do need to get protein, and beans were a no-go. And peanuts, we were off for a long time because he's mildly allergic. So protein it was. So this is what we do. Alrighty. Look at that. Everything here totally looks great. Dimitri. We got vegetable broth. It's organic. We got ground beef, We got organic tomatoes. We got garlic. We got organic corn.
Wait, where's the garlic? All right, we got a corn.
We got bell pepper. We got organic carrots, onion, celery, jalapenos, chopped spinach, cheese, right? These are all yummy foods, ingredients. So what we're going to do, if you're looking at this and going, I'm not a chef, I can't cook all that stuff, trust me, it's not going to take forever.
And Mommy will show you.
And I will show you. So literally, you're just going to put the meat in the frying pan and just brown it. You don't even need to cook it all the way through. And then we're going to put some vegetable broth in the pot. And literally, I just throw everything in and boil it. And then put it all in the Vitamix. And the boiling water mixes with the meat. And
also, do we put this in the frying pan right away?
Yeah, so let's do that.
Action.
So, nothing fancy. Record the onions, silly. I just cut the bottom and top off. Nothing fancy. We're not going for like Food Network, Best Chef or anything. Literally, I am just peeling off the unnecessary skin. If your Vitamix is really good, if you have the super duper high powered one, it'll actually liquidate even the onion skin, which actually has very strong cancer fighting agents. So that's a thought. And if you're an adult and you don't mind the occasional texture, whole thing. And goes in.
Yep, and it goes right in like a bow chicka bow bow. Like a meteor going into Earth. Okay, boom!
Come here. Come here.
Still recording.
And tomato, really simple. Just cut in half.
Just cut in half and put them both.
And in bell pepper.
Take off a leaf.
Take off the seeds, and it goes in.
Wait, but you accidentally left the seed in there.
Oh, that'll just make it taste nice.
Only a little. You only leave one thing though, this was open.
That's okay. Corn?
Yeah, corn. Famous corn that we use the last of our corn. And one with the garlic.
Hold on.
Man, we're doing everything so quickly.
Carrots.
Carrots. Okay, that was flipping weird.
Carrots. Go in.
Carrots. Are carrots a fruit or a vegetable?
They're a vegetable.
Okay.
Fruits are things that have seeds, whether they're sweet or not. Okay, hold it still. You're going to make the audience seasick.
Oh, yeah, right.
You see my muscle. Yeah, my muscle.
Goober. Eating healthy food will make you grow muscles.
And it is true. If you eat healthy,
you grow muscles like mine. Look at that. It's a muscle. You can see it. Ooh.
Over here.
So this is the celery.
You just literally take it apart and make sure there's no friends.
And heat it with water. Hot
and then
water.
Literally broken half. And everybody's in the tub.
It's a fun thing. Point.
All right. Now, the garlic.
The garlicomo.
I like to put 2 in. And literally, it's just, are you filming?
Yep.
Smash. Smash.
I've never seen this before. Never even seen you put garlic in. Or maybe it's because I never record you making the whole thing.
Skin off. Again, if your Vitamix is good, it'll pulverize the skin, cancer fighting agents, blah, blah, blah. All right, garlic's in, jalapenos are in.
Now we have these 3 left. These 3, the cheese, the spinach, and the jalapenos.
Jalapenos.
And that's what's next.
All right, so let's pause this for a second.
Action.
All right, so the jalapeno, I literally just cut in quarters and take the rib out. Are you filming me?
Oh, no.
Okay, just take the rib out because that makes it really spicy. Only put a quarter in unless you're really mad at him.
Yummy, limo.
All right.
Look there.
Then spinach. So
Do we usually put peas in there or do we not?
we don't normally put peas.
Oh yeah.
We could, but I like putting peas and macaroni, and that is another video.
Yeah, and that will be soon.
All right, and spinach goes in. This,
They're frozen clumps right now.
for the first few years, was how I knew my son ate vegetables. Lucky for me, his favorite color was green. Interesting fact though, now as we have progressed with the food program in ABA therapy, Demi is doing excellent at eating vegetables, asparagus, broccoli, green beans, all that stuff. No problem.
Yep. No
Little
problems.
butter, salt.
Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Maybe
Yee.
a little cheese, but fruits we're still having problems with. All right, it's been a few minutes, so maybe the beef is ready to flip. Again, you don't need to cook it all the way through. You're just browning it and heating it up a little. It will cook in the Vitamix with the boiling liquid.
Yummy, limo.
Okay, dork face. All right, so
So
now we're just bringing this to a boil.
and
Let's see.
oh. So I guess we don't pause it.
Did you pause it?
Nope.
Okay. So just let that boil and let the meat saute. And then we're going to put it and the last ingredient, the cheese, and a little salt into Mommy's best friend next to, that's Mommy's #1 best friend. But this is Autism Mom's #2's best friend. But, you can also put espresso in this and blend the heck out of it, and it's velvet smooth and delicious.
Okay, so what now?
So we can see that the vegetables are boiling rather nicely. However, the meat is still wriggling a little. It's still a little pink inside. Not being very cooperative here. So I'm going to put a lid over it for a minute just to make sure that it's cooked a little bit through, but nothing fancy. You can see I'm not grinding it up or anything. I'm leaving it in the whole square. And Vitamix will do all the work for me. All right, I was doing dishes for a little bit, and this looks nicely browned. I flipped it again, and it is still a little scary and pink, but it's going to go in with boiling liquid, so it's going to be fine. So I'll leave it on while I carefully pour this into the Vitamix. All right, everybody's coming out of the tub and going in the Vitamix. Normally I do this one-handed over the sink, but yeah, great. Okie dokie, all the babies are out of the tub and into this. Very beautiful layers, right? All of our major food groups. There's fruits, there's vegetables, there's protein, there's going to be dairy, there's going to be meat, and, salt. All the awesomeness. Here comes the adder. Right. Oh yeah. And then we're very gradually just gonna kick it up a little bit, just to make sure it doesn't look like vomit. Count with me now. We're gonna make it 15 seconds. Okay, and the meat is in, right? You can see I am not vying as a contestant on Food Network for artsy or beautifulness. And, we're just going to give it a whirl. And you'll see alarmingly that it still looks a little red, but it cooks quickly in the boiling liquid. And last, but definitely not least, oh yeah, baby, the cheese. Oh yeah. cheese. I lied. We're not completely done. But you can see the steam. And we're just going to put a little. That might have looked like a lot, but this is about 6 or 8 cups and enough to be a full bowl of soup for about 4 to 5 days. And you're done. It probably took like 10 or 15 minutes, and that's, once a week or so. And then you just put it in the fridge and, warm it in the microwave about a minute. And, it's a soup, you put it in soup. And there you have it, vegetable soup. It's beautiful and velvety and smooth. And, you can garnish it with some shredded cheese. I used to pour this over chips, and we called it chips and dip, until Demi was like, oh, I'm eating a lot of chips. That's not very healthy. You okay? Did you bink your head?
Yeah.
And he decided he was just going to have it as soup. And we have this 3-4 days a week for dinner. And it's actually really good. My brother dipped some chips in it once, and I was like, oh my God, I got to just taste it to make sure it's good. And he said it's amazing. And then maybe once a week he has pizza, like if he gets an A on his AR test. And once a week maybe we'll have McDonald's and, practice eating sliced apples that day. But this was where we started, and he just gradually made more and more. So my sister-in-law found this. I thank my lucky stars every day. Where are you going? Go sit down and eat, monkey. And he eats it. He loves it. He's happy to be eating it. And this really cool thing happened when we started eating this. Before this, Demi was really little, very small for his age, really thin. The first 3 years of his life. Uh-oh, did you get something? Mm-hmm. Yucky, sorry. Maybe I should have blended it longer. He was never past the 13th percentile in weight. He went down to the first percentile at one point. He was vomiting 5 times a day. He would vomit water, and what we found out later is just his stomach was full of acid because he was just really anxious, because autistics have anxiety. And, he was on the maximum dose per day by weight of Prilosec and is it Zantac? Is that the antacid? And you don't usually take both. He was taking both for a few years till he was almost 3, middle of 3, almost 4. But when we started feeding him this, at the time he was living off of scrambled eggs for breakfast and a peanut butter and Nutella sandwich for lunch, and pasta with butter for dinner, and that was the only thing he ate, unless it was baby food, and maybe we could put baby food on the pasta. But he was vomiting a lot, and he looked like milk. His skin was white, and he was just really skinny arms and legs. You could see every bone in his face, and really was little. And this cool thing happened when we started doing this, where when he first started doing this, he was really little, really tiny that January, and very strangely, 2 months later, is that where it was? He grew that much. He's never grown in such a huge jump since. Like there's, little increments. But he skyrocketed. Maybe this is a year from January, and then a month later, he was here.
And then at the age...
And then all of a sudden, boom, a year later. Like, that's a lot of inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like 4 inches in a year.
And also the age of when my grandpa died, and which is where I started getting this.
But he was also eating a lot more. And
also, you can tell them the story about my grandpa, which is how I got.
We'll do that on another video, boo-boo. But he grew tall in a very short, and his complexion is really great. He's, fair, but he was milk white, and he's not milk white anymore. Yummy, licking the spoon good.
So, if you liked this video and you want to see more videos about being an autistic mom to an autistic child and overcoming challenges like eating, I'll be posting some more videos soon. Just hit like and subscribe so you can see them all. And we'll just keep watching together and walking this road to happy destiny together. Have a good day.